This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. So as everyone knows, I've had a very positive opinion of President Trump's second term as of now. I think the majority of the things he's done so far, it's not only been good and positive, but it's exceeded my expectations. It's not just one or two things. President Trump has done a lot of good things, and I will say that. I think he's been a damn good president as of now, but it has not been perfect. Of course, there is no way you're ever going to get everything you want. That's impossible. Even with President Trump, I love him. Even with that, you're never going to have a perfect president. That's impossible. But even then, I really believe that the next week or two could either make or break this entire presidency. As President Trump, he has a couple of big decisions to make the next couple of days that if he fails on, and this is a big if he fails on these certain issues, his entire presidency could cave in on itself. His legacy could be ruined for good. Now, before we continue with today's video, guys, make sure to like and share the video right now. This is the best way to support the content. It helps the video out in the algorithm. So like and share the video right now. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button right now. Another great way to support the content. But enough of the promotional stuff. We have to talk about this make or break moment for President Trump, because that's what this is. This is the moment that could define his legacy for good. And there's a bunch of things going on right now, like trade stuff. Yeah, that's important. But I would argue the two most important things happening right now that could decide everything is, of course, foreign policy and immigration. And everyone could probably guess what I'm talking about in particular. So let's start with the big one, foreign policy. This has been the biggest question mark for this entire presidency. Even before he got in, there was a lot of shit happening. The war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, a lot of stuff was happening. Tensions were rising between India and Pakistan. It was a mess. And I would say President Trump, he's done okay on this front. He's doing the best he can with the war in Ukraine, the war in Russia. He actually prevented a war between India and Pakistan. So there's been some good things here and there. But all that progress could go to waste if the war between Israel and Iran escalates. I shouldn't call it a war just yet. It's more like a conflict. But either way, Israel a couple days ago, for those that don't know, they bombed the living shit out of Iran. It was a disaster for Iran. They lost a bunch of top scientists, a bunch of top people got killed, a bunch of facilities got taken out. It was an utter disaster. And their retaliation as of now, it's been pathetic. I have no clue what's going on in Iran right now. I think they're panicking because all the top people just died. But even then, their response has been sad. Yeah, they bombed Israel back, but really? You lose all your capabilities in the military for nuclear stuff. You lost all of that. All your top people are dead, and you barely hit back. I know this is Iran. They talk a big game every year. Oh, we're going to stop the USA. We're going to bomb them. And they never do anything. I know that's what we're talking about here. But really? You're just going to let Israel bomb the crap out of you that much? And as of now, listen, I'm not saying I support this. We'll get to why in a second. But I have to admit that right now, if the thing does not escalate any further, it was a massive success by Israel and partially Donald Trump. Because President Trump, he knew about this. He actually kind of warned Iran about this. Like, hey, if you guys don't make this deal now, something bad's going to happen. And, well, they played games, and look what happened. They got this shit bombed out of them. It was a disaster for them. But that doesn't mean I think this is the best move. Now, again, we got to see what happens. The next couple of days, like I said, it will decide everything. Because if Iran bends the knee to President Trump and Israel and whatever, and we get everything we want and then some. Listen, I'm against what Israel did here. I think it's very risky. It's very stupid, the gamble they took. But it would turn into a massive success by President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel. It would be. It would be a massive success, because if you do all of that, you take down all their capabilities for everything, and they barely retaliate, and in fact, they bend the knee. If you get that to happen, it was well worth it. But at the same time, it's still a very risky endeavor, because What will Iran actually do in a couple days? They've been saying for a while they may attack Americans in the Middle East, and if that happens, Trump has already said, yeah, that's war. But that's the problem. It's not the idea of taking down Iran. Listen, if there were no risks associated with it, whatever, it's a different story. And we weren't involved, fine. But we're getting conflicting reports. We kind of knew, we kind of didn't. We weren't really involved, but we shot down some missiles. Either way, we knew a little bit, and Iran is trying to blame us, and they may attack our troops. And if that happens, a war between the US and Iran would begin. And that's a problem. That's the issue with all of this. American lives could be at risk because of a stupid conflict, a very dumb gamble that failed in that scenario. That's a problem. And if President Trump allows it to happen, we get American troops involved in this crapshoot, which I don't think we're ever going to have boots on the ground. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But talk about a legacy-defining moment. Another war in the Middle East. If that happens, Trump's approval would collapse immediately. Like, people may support the strike. There's some people skeptical, like I am. I think it's a risky move by Israel, and I think it's stupid. And I don't think we should be involved whatsoever. Let them deal with it. Have fun. Go ahead. Because if this goes south, and it could, American troops are at risk. And at that point, it's war. Another war in the Middle East. If that happens, Trump's legacy is dead. He promised no more conflicts in the Middle East. He's going to bring peace everywhere. No more Americans are dying in some nonsensical war in the Middle East. And I know the Mark Levins of the world, they love this. Yeah, we got to strike Iran. We got to work with Israel to bomb them. And listen, I'm not a fan of Iran, obviously. I think everyone agrees with that. Even the people that are very skeptical of Israel, they don't like Iran whatsoever. But that doesn't mean we should start a shitfest with them that could kill hundreds of thousands of people. No, that's stupid. But why should we get involved? Why? What's the purpose? Right now, it's clear Israel is winning the conflict. They don't need us right now. So what's the point? And that's the biggest concern I have right now. President Trump has some very bad people around him, like Mark Levin, saying, we gotta go to war with Iran. We gotta bomb them. No! Let Israel deal with that. If they want to deal with it, go ahead. That's their problem. We should not do a damn thing unless we are directly attacked, which it may still happen. We might get attacked because of the shitfest that is going on. And if that happens, anything like that could happen, that would not end good. The American people are sick of these nonsensical wars in the Middle East. We've lost so many people because of them. And we may start up another one. Though I do believe at the end of the day, we're not going to get to that point. I hope not. Because, like I said, that would be a legacy-defining moment for Trump. And not in a good way. That would be people saying, oh, wait, President Trump, he started yet another war in the Middle East. And possibly the most costly of them all. A war with Iran, which we'll see what happens. Anything crazy could happen. I don't think we're going to get to that point. But the fact that it's even remotely possible now, which I'll give Trump credit, he's saying, we don't want this, we want peace, we don't want to start another war here. I'm glad he's saying that stuff. That gives me some confidence that hopefully we avoid a full-scale conflict. I'm hoping for that. But again, this is just one issue that I have. I think President Trump, at the end of the day, he understands that a war in the Middle East is unpopular. I don't care what Mark Levin says. He's full of crap. Don't listen to them. Those people are going to start World War III for nothing. That's who they are. Don't listen to them whatsoever. But that's really the first issue that I have that could really make or break this presidency. If he has another war in the Middle East, his approval is going to sink. But there is one issue that gave Trump the presidency back in 2016. And again in 2024. Partially. I'm, of course, talking about immigration. This is the most important issue for the Republican voter. No, just for the average American now. This is like the second or third most important issue. And like 60% of Americans said, yeah, immigration is my first or second most important issue in 2024 and 2016. And for whatever reason, President Trump's administration is now saying, oh, we might scale back mass deportations. As they're claiming that, oh, our poor farmers, they're getting impacted by us deporting their illegal workers. Yeah, this is real. This is a real thing by President Trump a couple days ago. And I first thought, okay, this is BS. This is just President Trump talking like this. He's not going to go through with it. Well, apparently, now it's being reported that, yeah, they're actually going through with the idea of deporting less people because these farmers said so. No. In fact, we should triple down on deporting everybody. It doesn't matter if they're working on a farm or not. It doesn't matter. These people are here illegally. They shouldn't be here whatsoever. They should be deported immediately, and the people that hired them go after them as well. I don't care. This idea that, oh, we need these people. No, we don't. We don't. I have a better idea. You want Americans working on these farms? Treat them better. Don't give them a shit wage and expect them to work. No. Treat them decently, and they will work. That this is a very big issue for a lot of people. And this is the one issue that if President Trump pushes for amnesty, which you could argue what he's saying right now is a form of amnesty. Oh, we're going to slow down deportations and we're not going to go after the farmers. That's basically a form of amnesty, not officially, but unofficially. You're just saying, yeah, these people can stay here for as long as they want because our farmers need them. No, they don't. They're full of crap. And the reason Trump is saying this is because his agriculture secretary sucks, is lying to him about this, and she is causing a disaster with this. This is the one issue where if he really doubles down on this, his base, including myself, will say, enough is enough. This is stupid. We wanted more deportations. It seems like we're getting to that point, by the way. It seems like every day we're ramping up operations. In fact, the Washington Post, a little while ago, they said for the first time in 50 years, immigration could go to a net negative, which is huge. This is what we voted for. People are being deported. Less people are entering America, not just illegally, but even legally. This is what the American people voted for. But if you say, we can't deport these people because the farmer said so, you're dumb. I'm sorry. That's the truth. You cannot go anywhere near this because you are facing a potential base revolt if you say, oh, these illegals, they could stay here because the farmers, screw them. Go after the farmers for not treating the workers good. I mean, guys, these people want slave labor. These people want to pay these people like $5 an hour, have shit conditions. They work like 80 hours a week. That's what they want. They want essentially slave labor. And they can do that with illegal immigrants. It's awful what they're doing, but that's truth. Yet, Trump's team is talking like we need to do it. No, we don't. Just deport them even faster. Just say, treat Americans better, all right? Treat the worker better, and you can hire people. You don't need to have this many illegals. It's just crazy. In fact, excuse what I said. You don't need any illegals. As most of the jobs you employ them for, you can automate it, which still requires people to work, obviously, but a lot of it's nonsensical. We don't need this crap, but for whatever reason, they're really pushing for this. They're saying, oh, we're going to go after the violent criminals. Go after everyone. But even with them saying this, they still are raiding a lot of these farms. And his agriculture secretary, who I don't like, she is saying, we want America first stuff. We want to deport every illegal. So maybe they're realizing the base doesn't want this, which, good. Every time Trump does something dumb like this, you got to be vocal about it. Tell him no. Ignore your big donors. Ignore them. Tell them to go away. Because we voted for not just some deportations. We were promised the biggest deportation operation ever. But we'll see what happens the next couple of days and weeks. Like I said, this is the make or break moment. If President Trump screws this up, his legacy goes down in flames, which I don't want that happening. But at the same time, this could also be a massive win. If he ends a conflict in the Middle East and Iran is forced to capitulate or whatever, and we accelerate deportations, his numbers could go up even more. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share it to friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.